tell me a little bit about what it looks like for somebody to work for a startup and maybe some things that they should be thinking about if this is something they're playing around with.
There's a lot more need to get it right, and therefore there's a lot more pressure to perform in a lot of ways. However, why I love working with startups is the world's your oyster. Like, you can literally go build anything. And like, I talk a lot about personas and kind of some of the coaching I do. And so I worked at Pearson, I worked at General Assembly, I worked in a 2-person shop, I worked at a Series A startup, right? So I've seen kind of the different stages, and I
Mm-hmm.
truly believe there's different personas by stage. For me, I like to move really fast. I like to get my hands dirty. I'm okay with a little bit of chaos. I'm actually really good at making sense of chaos. And I want ownership. I want people to know that, if they give me a project, I can own it from start to finish. So early stage startups work really well for me. And I feel a lot of excitement, and I like that go, go, go mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I would say kind of that scale up is more for your operational type people, people who like to kind of bring more order and process to madness. And then you have, bigger companies and people who are comfortable kind of being able to solve a very specific pain point and a specific problem. So I feel like I went away from your initial question, but I think the why with early stage startups is autonomy and ownership, the ability to be part of a ride and kind of get in early. But again, I think passion and belief is so huge here. And so if you have the passion and the belief and you can get the equity, it can be incredibly meaningful. But you also have to be okay with a little bit of chaos and a little bit of
Yeah.
pressure to perform and some of those other
Yeah.
pieces too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something I talk to clients a lot about because I think there's been a little bit of a romanticizing of startups that has happened online in the LinkedIn culture. Sometimes that you go and you work for this startup and it sounds cool. And a lot of times we'll talk about it probably is really cool, actually. But if you're not the type of person who's naturally comfortable in, like you said, a little bit of chaos where all the dots aren't connected, where maybe you're wearing 3 hats one day and 6 hats the other day, and they're different hats. And, you hired in to do X, but you're actually doing A, B, and C.
Yep.
And, these types of things, I think for some people, like for myself, I love to build. So I love being in an environment where, again, it's kind of like we're figuring out all the puzzle pieces. We sort of dumped them on the table and we're saying, we know this makes a puzzle, but we have to figure it out.
Yep.
For other people, they find that maddening and they're like, no, I want to know. I come in, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure everybody's following the process. It's going to be really efficient. We're going to make it even sharper than it was last year. But that doesn't always tend to be a startup environment.